Today, we invite you to experience a journey across some of the most extraordinary places on our planet. This is not just a trip across destinations, but a passage through landscapes shaped by time, power, and constant transformation. We begin in one of the most extreme environments on Earth, Antarctica, a frozen world of endless ice, where isolation and scale redefine our sense of space and time. Our journey continues into the heart of the Amazon rainforest, a dense and living ecosystem where every movement, every sound, and every breath is part of an intricate web of life. Each destination, from the surreal reflections of Salar de Uyuni to the immense geological story carved into the Grand Canyon, reveals a different side of our planet. These are places shaped not only by nature but by forces that continue to evolve, reshape, and redefine the world around us. Prepare yourself for a journey beyond simple observation, where every landscape holds a story, every environment reveals a hidden process, and every moment reminds us how dynamic our planet truly is. Welcome to a world in constant motion. Antarctica. Antarctica is not simply cold, it is absolute. The cold here does not just touch the skin. It penetrates, slowing movement, dulling sensation, and forcing the body into a constant struggle to maintain warmth. The wind cuts across the endless white landscape, carrying fine particles of ice that sting like needles. The silence is overwhelming. There are no cities, no distant hum of life, only the sound of wind and the deep, almost imperceptible cracking of ice shifting beneath its own weight. It is a silence that feels ancient, as if it has existed unchanged for millions of years. Massive glaciers stretch across the continent, moving so slowly that their motion is invisible to the eye, yet powerful enough to carve entire valleys beneath them. Occasionally, a section breaks away, forming an iceberg that drifts into the ocean, silent, massive, and temporary. Beneath this frozen surface lies a hidden world. Subglacial lakes, sealed off from sunlight for millions of years, contain water that has never been exposed to the outside environment. Within them, microbial life has evolved in complete isolation, surviving in darkness under immense pressure. Antarctica is more than an extreme. It is a regulator. Its ice reflects sunlight back into space, stabilizing global temperatures while storing vast amounts of fresh water. It may appear still, but its influence reaches every corner of the planet. Amazon rainforest, South America. The Amazon is alive in a way that is impossible to ignore. The air is thick with humidity, carrying the scent of soil, vegetation, and decay. each layer of life feeding into the next. Sound is constant here. Insects humming, birds calling, leaves shifting, and distant movements that hint at unseen creatures navigating the dense environment. The forest exists in layers. Towering trees form a canopy so dense that sunlight struggles to reach the ground, creating a dim, green-tinted world below. In this filtered light, life adapts. Plants grow larger leaves, animals develop heightened senses, and every movement becomes part of a complex system of survival. Water flows through everything. Rivers cut across the landscape like arteries, carrying nutrients and sustaining ecosystems far beyond their banks. Trees release moisture into the atmosphere, forming clouds that return as rain, creating a cycle that continuously feeds itself. Every organism here is connected. A single change can ripple outward, affecting countless others in ways that are not immediately visible. This complexity makes the Amazon one of the most vital ecosystems on Earth and one of the least understood. It is not just a forest. It is a living system, constantly adapting, constantly evolving, and functioning on a scale that extends far beyond what we can see. Salar de Uyuni, Bolivia. At first glance, the Salar de Uyuni feels empty. A vast expanse of white stretches endlessly in every direction. The surface cracked into geometric patterns that repeat with almost unnatural precision. The sky above seems larger here, uninterrupted, dominating the horizon. The silence is deep, broken only by the faint sound of wind moving across the flat terrain. There are no landmarks, no clear sense of direction, only space. But when rain falls, everything changes. A thin layer of water covers the surface, transforming the ground into a perfect mirror. The sky reflects with such clarity that the horizon disappears entirely. Erasing the boundary between above and below in this moment. Perspective is lost. You are no longer standing on land. You are suspended between two identical worlds. Every step feels uncertain. As if the surface could dissolve beneath you at any moment. Beneath this surreal landscape lies something unexpected. Massive deposits of lithium, essential for modern technology, are hidden below the salt crust. This ancient environment, shaped over thousands of years, is now directly connected to the future of human innovation. Grand Canyon, United States. The Grand Canyon is not just vast, it is overwhelming. Standing at its edge, the scale is difficult to process. Layers of rock extend downward for miles, each one representing a different period in Earth's history. Colors shift from deep reds to pale browns, forming patterns that tell a story written over millions of years. The Colorado River flows far below, appearing small from a distance, yet it is the force responsible for carving this immense structure. Over time, water, wind, and erosion have shaped the canyon into what it is today. And the process continues, slowly but relentlessly. Fossils embedded within the rock reveal traces of ancient life, remnants of environments that once existed long before the canyon itself. Oceans, deserts, and forests have all left their mark here, layered one upon another. Time feels different in this place. The pace of change is almost impossible to perceive, yet the result is undeniable. The canyon stands as a reminder that even the most solid structures are temporary, shaped by forces that never stop moving. It is not just a landscape, it is a record, a visible history of a planet in constant transformation. Iceland. In Iceland, the boundary between stability and change is almost non-existent. The land feels alive. Constantly shifting under forces that are usually hidden beneath the surface of the earth. Steam rises from the ground in thin, continuous streams. Marking the presence of heat moving upward from deep below. Geysers erupt without warning, releasing bursts of boiling water into the cold air. While lava fields stretch across the landscape, frozen remnants of past eruptions, here, fire and ice coexist in constant tension. Volcanoes erupt beneath glaciers, melting ice instantly and creating sudden floods that reshape entire regions. The contrast is dramatic. Extreme heat beneath layers of frozen stillness. The terrain itself is young, constantly being rewritten. New land forms as molten rock cools, while tectonic plates slowly drift apart, widening the island over time. Standing here, it becomes clear that the Earth is not fixed. It is active, dynamic, and unpredictable. Iceland is not just a place, it is a process. A visible expression of the forces that shape the planet from within. Namib Desert, Namibia. The Namib Desert feels ancient in a way that is difficult to describe. The air is dry, almost watless, carrying fine grains of sand that shift continuously with the wind. Towering dunes rise from the ground in smooth, curved forms, their surfaces marked by patterns that change daily. Despite this constant movement, the desert itself has remained for millions of years. It is one of the oldest landscapes on Earth, shaped not by sudden events but by time and persistence. In Dead Valley, the scene is almost surreal. Dark, skeletal trees stand motionless on a cracked white surface, their forms preserved by the extreme dryness. They have not decayed. They have simply remained unchanged for centuries. The contrast is striking. Black trees, white ground, and bright orange dunes under a clear blue sky. It feels like a moment frozen in time, and yet life exists here. Plants and animals have adapted in remarkable ways, extracting moisture from fog, surviving with minimal water, and enduring extreme temperatures. The Namib is not empty. It is resilient, a place where survival depends on adaptation, and where life continues against all odds. Norwegian fjords. The fjords of Norway are defined by contrast. Deep, calm waters stretch inward from the sea, surrounded by steep cliffs that rise almost vertically into the sky. The surface of the water is often still, reflecting the landscape with near-perfect clarity. It is difficult to imagine the forces that created this environment. Thousands of years ago, massive glaciers moved through these valleys, carving into solid rock with immense pressure. As the ice retreated, it left behind these deep channels, now filled with water. Waterfalls cascade from high elevations, feeding into the fjords and adding movement to an otherwise quiet scene. The air feels clean, cool, and still, carrying the sound of water and wind through the narrow valleys. There is a sense of scale here that is both calming and overwhelming. The cliffs, the depth of the water, the silence. It all creates a feeling of isolation, as if the outside world is far away. The fjords are a reminder of how slow processes can create something extraordinary. What appears peaceful today was once shaped by immense force and movement. Mount Bromo, Indonesia. Mount Bromo rises from a vast volcanic landscape that feels almost otherworldly. The ground is covered in fine ash and sand, stretching outward in all directions like a sea of gray. The air carries the scent of sulfur, subtle but constant. Mist often blankets the area, softening the edges of the terrain and creating an atmosphere that feels distant and unreal. Through the haze, the shape of the volcano emerges, silent but never inactive. Smoke rises slowly from the crater, a reminder that beneath the surface, energy is building. The ground here is not stable. It is part of an ongoing process, constantly influenced by forces below. There is a tension in this environment. It feels calm but not safe, quiet but not at rest. The volcano exists in a balance between stability and eruption, where change can happen suddenly and without warning. It is a place that demands respect, a reminder of the power that exists beneath the surface of the earth. Zhangjiajie, China. Rising from the earth like something imagined rather than formed, the stone pillars of Zhangjiajie challenged the very idea of what a landscape should look like. Tall, narrow columns of rock extend vertically into the sky, their tops often hidden by drifting clouds that move slowly between them. The air is humid, and the mist softens the distance, creating layers that shift as the clouds pass. At times, entire sections of the landscape disappear, only to reappear moments later, as if the terrain itself is breathing. These formations were not created suddenly. Over millions of years, erosion wore away softer rock, leaving behind these towering structures, fragments of a much larger surface that once existed. What remains is a collection of isolated pillars, each standing as a reminder of what has been lost. Vegetation clings to their surfaces, growing in places that seem impossible to reach. Life finds a way even here, adapting to height, isolation, and limited space. There is something disorienting about this place. Depth is difficult to judge, distance becomes uncertain, and perspective constantly shifts. It feels less like standing in a landscape and more like observing something suspended between reality and imagination. Zhangjiajie is not just unusual, it redefines what we expect from the natural world. Cappadocia, Turkey. Cappadocia is a landscape shaped not only by nature, but by human adaptation. Soft volcanic rock has been carved by wind and erosion into unusual formations. Tall, narrow structures, often referred to as fairy chimneys. Their shapes are irregular, almost sculptural, as if formed intentionally rather than by natural forces. But what makes this region unique is what lies within. For centuries, people carved into this soft stone, creating homes, tunnels, and entire underground cities. These spaces provided shelter from extreme temperatures and protection from external threats. Walking through these structures, there is a sense of connection between human ingenuity and the environment. Instead of altering the landscape, people became part of it, adapting their lives to its natural form. The terrain continues to change. Erosion slowly reshapes the surface, altering formations and creating new ones over time. Cappadocia exists at the intersection of natural history and human history, a place where survival depended on understanding the land, not controlling it. It is a reminder that adaptation, not resistance, has often been the key to survival. Lake Louise, Canada. Lake Louise appears almost unreal in its clarity and color. The water reflects shades of turquoise so vivid that they seem artificial. Yet the color comes from fine particles of rock carried by glacial meltwater. These particles scatter light, creating the lake's distinctive appearance. Surrounded by mountains and dense forest, the lake sits in a valley that feels both enclosed and expansive. The surface of the water is often still, acting as a mirror that reflects the landscape with remarkable precision. In winter, everything changes. The lake freezes, the surface becomes solid, and the environment shifts into a quiet, motionless state. In summer, the ice melts, water flows again, and the color returns. There is a balance here that feels rare. Water, light, and landscape interact in a way that creates a sense of calm and harmony. Unlike more extreme environments, Lake Louise does not overwhelm. It invites observation. It is a place where stillness becomes noticeable, where small details become more significant. It represents a different side of the planet, not defined by intensity, but by balance. Serengeti, Tanzania. The Serengeti is defined by movement. Across vast open plains, millions of animals travel in a continuous cycle, following patterns of rainfall and vegetation. The migration is not random. It is driven by survival, by the need to find food and water in an environment that changes with the seasons. Herds stretch across the horizon, moving together in coordinated motion. Dust rises beneath their steps, marking their path as they cross rivers and plains. Predators follow closely, creating a constant interaction between life and death that shapes the ecosystem. Nothing here exists in isolation. Every movement affects something else. Every migration supports another form of life. The landscape itself shifts between abundance and scarcity. At times it is green and full of life. At others, it becomes dry and unforgiving. This constant change creates balance. No single element dominates for long. The Serengeti is not static. It is a system in motion, where survival depends on timing, instinct, and adaptation. It is one of the clearest examples of how interconnected life on Earth truly is. Machu Picchu, Peru. High in the Andes Mountains, Machu Picchu sits above the clouds, positioned in a way that feels both intentional and improbable. The surrounding peaks create a natural barrier, isolating the site from the outside world and adding to its sense of mystery. Built by the Inca civilization, the structures follow the natural contours of the mountain. Stone blocks fit together with precision, without the use of mortar, creating buildings that have endured for centuries. Terraces line the slopes, designed to prevent erosion while allowing for agriculture in a challenging environment. The entire site reflects a deep understanding of both engineering and nature. Despite extensive study, much about Machu Picchu remains unknown. Its exact purpose, the details of its construction, and the reasons for its abandonment continue to raise questions. There is a sense of connection here, not just to history, but to the environment itself. The site does not dominate the landscape, it exists within it. Machu Picchu represents a relationship between humans and nature that is rarely seen today. One based on adaptation, respect, and integration. Great Barrier Reef, Australia. Beneath the surface of the ocean lies one of the most complex ecosystems on Earth. The Great Barrier Reef stretches across vast distances, composed of living coral structures that grow slowly over time. The environment is vibrant, filled with color, movement, and constant interaction. Fish move through coral formations, predators and prey coexist, and countless species depend on this system for survival. At its core, the reef is built by tiny organisms working together, creating structures that become habitats for larger forms of life. It is a system where scale varies dramatically, from microscopic to massive, all connected. But this balance is fragile. Changes in temperature, water quality, and environmental conditions can disrupt the entire ecosystem. Coral bleaching caused by rising ocean temperatures is one of the most visible signs of this vulnerability. The reef is both resilient and sensitive, a system capable of growth, but also at risk of decline. It represents the complexity of life on Earth and the delicate balance required to sustain it. Across every landscape, a pattern emerges. From the dense life of the Amazon to the silent depths of the ocean. Each environment is shaped by the same fundamental forces: time, pressure, temperature, motion. These forces do not stop. They do not pause. They continue, shaping the planet in ways both visible and hidden. What we see today is only a moment, a single frame in a process that has been unfolding for billions of years. The Earth is not static. It is not complete. It is constantly evolving, constantly transforming, constantly becoming something new. And within this constant change, one thing becomes clear. We are not separate from this system. We are part of it, observers and participants in a world that never stops moving.